Smuggling versus women. This is a case of about a 27-year-old Colombian man into this country for a very short time. English second language by a long shot. Barely spoke English at all. He was not a saint. I'm not going to tell you that he was. But he was accused and jailed on suspicion or accusation of rape. He asked me to examine his case to tell him what I could do for him. So I studied his discovery packet. I found 3 sources of statements. One, from the woman herself. 2, a hospital, and also a female police officer. I studied this case, and when I was finished, I had an interview with him, and I told him, I'm going to ask you a lot of very personal questions, detailed questions. And if you lie to me once, then I'm done. I won't help you in any way. He agreed. Now, he wasn't a violent man. He wasn't aggressive. And so the statement from the woman was that he had come over to her house to listen to music or whatever and drink some beers. Then he forced her into the bedroom and raped her. There were very few details, almost none. The police officer's report was very limited as well, and it said that there were fingerprints on the walls of the hall as if someone were trying to prevent themselves from being dragged down the hall, and that the mattress on the bed was askew, and that was about it. However, one of the most interesting aspects was the hospital's report from the rape kit. Because she was going into the hospital as a supposed rape victim, the rape team did the full rape kit. And in it, they stated that they were amazed at how much fluid, meaning semen, was inside of her. Now, these are people that do this every day. These are people that have examined untold numbers of rape victims. And for them to write that statement told me quite a bit. After studying his discovery packet and having an interview with him again, I asked him, how often do you have sex? He told me maybe once a week or so. And because he was involved in the drug culture, most of that would come from women that were in the drug culture. And as we know, sex is one of the monies of drugs. I asked him for his version of the story, and his version of the story was that they had had sex before. And I said, did you use a condom? And he said, yes. And I said, did you use a condom the second time? He said, no. I said, why not? He said he didn't have one. So, went unprotected. And he told me that after they had sex, she wanted $4,000 from him. She knew he had friends, and she suspected that he had cash, but he didn't have any money. He had been paid $1,800 to smuggle drugs into the country. And he thought that $1,800 was a lot of money. What he found out once he got here was that $1,800 is gone pretty fast in the United States. So he was broke. He couldn't pay her the $4,000. She asked him to get it from his friends. He said, they're not going to give me $4,000. Well, 11 hours later, she was at a party, and her girlfriends convinced her to go charge him with rape and go to the hospital. So that's how that all began. After I asked him how often he has sex, I asked him how often does he masturbate. He said about once a day. I said to him, what is in her kitchen sink? He looked at me strange. What? Why do you need to know that? And I said, just tell me. Just answer my questions. It doesn't make any difference if you know why I'm asking or not. What was in her kitchen sink? And he said, dishes. And I said, a few dishes? Or what? And he said, a lot of dishes. I asked, what's on her kitchen counter next to the sink? And he said, more dishes. I said, dirty dishes or clean dishes? He said, dirty. I said, what is on her kitchen table? He said, food, dishes, beer cans. I said, what's on her coffee table? He said, beer cans, pop cans or bottles, and fast food packages. So I said, what's on her bed? He looked at me and goes, clothes? I said, you mean one outfit laying there? He said, no, a pile of them. And I said, was her house as clean as your house? He said, no, it was dirtier. I said, how dirty was her house? He goes, pretty dirty. I said, how come there's no pictures of her, of the crime scene? He said, he didn't think they took pictures. I said, where is the rape kit now? Does your attorney have it? He had a public defender. He said, they destroyed the rape kit because I admitted to having sex with her. I looked at him and I said, I'm sorry, but they're going to convict you of rape. And your public defender is in on it. I would think it's illegal to destroy a rape kit. Whether it's destroyed or not, they're not going to let you use it. And you have no money to hire an attorney to protect your rights. So they're going to convict you. I'm sorry, but that's the American way right now. He started crying. I said, here's what's going on. That woman was having sex with a lot of men that night. And they're going to convict you because of that. Had they examined the DNA of the rape kit, they would have found multiple men semen in it. But they didn't, and they're not going to. Whether they destroyed it or not, they're not going to let that evidence out. The female cop that examined the crime scene had to come up with something to support the woman's case. So she did. Dirty fingerprints and a mattress that was askew. So they're going to convict you because she was having sex with lots of men, and because she was a terrible housekeeper. There's one thing I can do for you. In your cell block is a very violent man. And he hates two types of people: police officers and rapists. He's going to beat the hell out of you when you get back. So I want you to go up to him and say, "Scott, Kent said I'm innocent, but they're going to convict me anyway." And tell him why. Because they destroyed the rape kit, are not going to use it, and she was having sex with lots of men, and because she's a terrible housekeeper and the investigating officer used dirty fingerprints in a mattress that wasn't aligned with the box spring as evidence of a rape and a crime. Tell them that, so that you don't get beaten up. That's about all I could do for you. I wish you the best. They did convict him. They sentenced him to 4 years. Kind of a light sentence for rape. He had no idea why I was asking those questions. Smuggling drugs versus sex with American women. Which is more dangerous? Smuggling drugs versus sex with American women. Which is more dangerous? I'll leave that to you to decide. MacGyver, I love you. Miss you. Hope you're well.